Welcome everybody, this is Nazgul2K1 coming at you with the newest episode of Nerd Rage. Today we are taking a look at Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. This game just released on Early Access, so this is a Day 1 review of my experiences thus far, and I believe we can sum it up if we could just make a copy-paste of a wet fart sound. This game has been hyped by all the streamers as, oh, this is going to be so amazing if you're a fan of EverQuest, and if you're an EverQuest player, the old school EverQuest, they make every effort every single time they market this game to mention the word EverQuest. There's a reason for that. That's because 99% of this game is a one-to-one copy-paste of EverQuest. I wish I could say anything different, but it is. All the streamers, whenever you go to any of these guys doing these streams, almost all of them keep the sound volume way down so they could, talk nonstop. But there's another reason they do that. And it's because every single sound effect in this game, well, no, hold on, let me be accurate. Almost every single sound effect in this game is a one-to-one ripoff of the EQ sound files. The level up sound, the classic ding we all grew up with, it's the same sound. I mean, it is identical. Most of the spell sounds are the same. Some of the ambience, I'm almost 99% positive is the same. They may have added another audio subtrack to make it different, but for all intents and purposes, it's a one-to-one copy. The gameplay loop is exactly the same as EverQuest. The world itself is okay. This is the little starting area, and we'll get into that whole thing here in a bit. But the issues I'm having with this game is it's EverQuest. This is EverQuest 1.5. They made EQ 1.5. And how they haven't been sued by Daybreak Games is completely beyond my realm of comprehension. The classes are almost one-to-one identical with EverQuest. I'm playing a wizard right here, and it does have a unique mechanic here, and the wizard has its own set of spells. You've got cold, arcane, and fire. So for that, they came up with a semi-original sort of class. But like other classes, the summoner is a mage. It's a mage. Even the description says it's a mage. It summons utility items for the party, creates damage shields, and pulls elemental pets based on the needs of the party or your at the time. It's a mage. It's a freaking mage. The warrior, one-to-one copy. The enchanter, one-to-one copy. They get mana regen spells, can charm monsters, and it's a one-to-one copy. Food and drink, same thing, one-to-one copy. The UI is hot garbage. Mainly because it's a ding 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 one-to-one copy. You have the same skills as EverQuest. You have the same stats as EverQuest. You have it's ridiculous. Even your chat UI is EverQuest. Look, they're all speaking it out of character. How do you speak it out of character in EverQuest? Oh, well, you type OOC. What happens when I do that in this game? Oh, look at that. I'm in out of character. Wait, let's shout. Shout was big in EverQuest. Let's try that. What was shout in EverQuest? SHOUT. Oh, there that is. How about guild? Guild in EverQuest was /GU, right? So let's type that and see what happens. Oh, there's guild. Alright, what about party? Okay, in EQ, party wasn't /P. And all you old school players are already saying it out loud. It was /G for group. So let's check that. Oh, there it is. Chat's identical. Combat log is identical. Although you can filter this a lot easier than you could in the original EQ. Kudos to them for at least putting 1/10 of an original thought into their game. Quests? No. there's no quest indicators. There's no quest log that I'm aware of. I could be wrong here. Like, you push journal, you get this, which will show you your active quests, but it's not as intuitive as every other MMO on the market, just like EverQuest. When you talk to an NPC, you get this, which I guess they don't have the hail button, so I mean, you know, kudos to them for not ripping all that off of EverQuest. Merchants? Let's go to a merchant. There we go, merchant. There you go. There's a merchant window. 50-50 amalgamation of EverQuest. Progression, same as EverQuest. You can't afford anything, you can't do anything, you don't get any gear. The quest rewards that you do are abysmal crap. The gameplay loop is, the game right now is basically log in, go out, kill mobs. That's it. That's all there is. And it's just, this isn't bare bones. Some people would say it's bare bones because it's early access. This isn't bare bones. This is, I wish it had bare bones. I wish it had its own original thoughts. You can tell when they made this, they literally, you know, Brad McQuaid or whatever his name was, I don't care. This game should have died with him. They have literally taken this and just said, okay, what do? We gotta finish this so we can get paid. I know, let's just copy everything from EverQuest. But they didn't copy everything from EverQuest. They kept all the crappy nonsense of the original EverQuest. Oh, by the way, also, when you want to do things via macro, same as EverQuest. You open a separate window, you type in the chat command, you click and drag the button to your hotbar, which means this game is going to eventually turn into EverQuest. 150 buttons on the UI, and you've got to know them all in order to do anything. And it's just, no. If I wanted to play EverQuest in 2024, I'd have at least made sure there was a fucking map in the game. This game does not have one. There is no in-game map. Now, this is an MMO being released in 2024. An MMO should have a map. Now, there are some of these boomer old heads that are like, oh, well, the original EQ didn't have a map. I was like, yeah, that was in 1999, boomer. This is 2024. We're in a completely different era. Every MMO releases with a map. And before any of you say, well, you know, please note, Ultima Online is older than EverQuest, released with a map. Old school RuneScape is either just as old or older than EverQuest, came with a map day one. So I don't even want to hear, oh, well, you know, it doesn't need a map. Yes, it needs a map. No one wants to sit and memorize all this crap again. People have jobs. Now, the developers have stated that there is a map coming. And this brings me to the other side of the pendulum here. This game is very, 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 very early access. The reason why the only thing you can do is log on and kill mobs is because they literally don't have anything else coded for you to do but log in and kill mobs. It's leading you to, this is what they want to do. I mean, some of the mobs' names, most of the mobs' names are even copied. Grass Snake. Seriously? Grass Snake? And clipping issues are a serious problem. I don't know when they're going to address that, but there are actually places where you're just sink straight into the world. But that can all be, hey, it's early access, that'll be fixed. None of that stuff bothers me. Because I know for a fact it's early access. That stuff's going to be fixed. The core mechanics that they copy-pasted from EverQuest, that's not going to be fixed. That's going to be a problem for the rest of this game's life cycle. And they are building off the building blocks of another game, and it's a bad idea because there's a reason why EverQuest is basically dead. Because no one wants to farm 90,000 AAs, nobody wants 150 buttons on a hotbar to the point where I can only see my character's head, and then there's buttons everywhere else because that's what I need to play the game. And that's where this is heading. Now, I could be horribly wrong on that, but I'm not horribly wrong on everything else. They have ripped off so much from EQ. I'm waiting for the lawsuit. I am. Now that this game is released on Steam, I am waiting for the hey, you realize you ripped off like a bunch of our sound effects, a bunch of our proprietary software. Oof. This is rough. This is really rough. Right now, don't buy this. I'm a huge fan. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. You are wasting your money if you pay money for this game right now. And unfortunately, that's going to be the sentiment by a lot of people in the chat here, is they should wait for a couple of months until they get this more fleshed out. And it's already been 10 years. This is all the further they've gotten in 10 years. Now, I will give them credit for their engine. I mean, it's a 10-year-old engine. You can tell this is not exactly what I would call high-fidelity graphics, but it's an MMO, so you kind of got to, lower your expectations a bit. But what I can say in positive is nobody is walking around with a sword stuck in their head. If you played EQ, you already know what I'm talking about. There's no bards running around with a drum butt cheek. It's that part they've got. They have the animations pretty good, at least for humans. I can't say about the other classes yet. I haven't had a chance to try them. But like you'll notice my character, whoa, I got sucked in by a frog tongue. But you'll notice my character, he doesn't clip himself with his equipped items or anything like that. He seems to be running pretty smooth. So I'm okay with that. Combat is, well, if you played EverQuest, you already know what the combat is. But I will give them props here. Watch. If you played all EQ, I'm going to show you something that you're going to be like, whoa, I can do that. Oh, look at that. I successfully cast a spell after moving. Huge props to them. But, now, here's my other problem with it. Look at the jackrabbit's corpse. Look at it. Get as close as I can here. Look at my character, and then look at that jackrabbit's corpse. Yeah, this game has a long way to go. You are absolutely in your right to leave this unpurchased for, I'd say a year. They're looking at like 3 years of early access by their own admission. I am not. They're looking at 2-3 years of early access. There is going to be no subscription fee during the early access period, which, honestly, if they did, they might as well go ahead and cancel the game now because nobody's paying money for this monthly. But they have so much work to do. And this, if it took them 10 years to get to here with this, they're in a lot of trouble. You can even see it on my character model here. You can see the hard pixelated lines. And I haven't gotten any gear yet, so I don't know what the character models look like wearing armor. Now, if you remember in the original EverQuest, and I mean the original EverQuest, armor and gear wasn't actually items. It was just a skin on the character model. It wasn't until they did the graphics revamp that the armor could actually be an item on the character. So I can't tell you what that's going to be until I actually get some gear. Once I get it, I will happily put an update video up. I will be keeping track of this, but I am not going to be like the streamers and glazing everything and trying to convince you that this is the greatest game on earth, because it is not. It is 100% not worth purchasing at this time. If I could go back in hindsight, I would have waited 6 months before touching this. But your mileage may vary. This could be the greatest thing you've ever touched. But me, if you're going to play EverQuest, you might as well go play EverQuest. It's just, There's not enough here to distinguish this game as its own standalone project. The only thing I think of while I'm playing this is too much like EverQuest. It's too much like EverQuest. And that's a huge problem. That this game needs to stand on its own. It is not. It is standing firmly on EverQuest's shoulders and foundation. But we'll see how it goes. I don't want to take up too much of your time. You got a good taste of everything here, I think. This is pretty much all there is for newbies anyway, so, hey, look, toads. Let's take a look at this toad quick. See that toad? It's actually pixelated properly. That doesn't look bad. Oh, I gotta ask this a lot. Is there a first-person mode? Yes, there is. You can play this in first-person mode. If you really want to go old school EverQuest, you can play this in first-person mode. Me, I don't do first-person mode. For some reason, it always makes my stomach kind of queasy, especially on certain games. Like Doom, I can play Doom all day, no problems. But for some reason, this is one of those games where it's like, it kind of messes with me. Your mileage may vary. But anyway, that's it for me. This is Nazgo 2K1. I will try and do one video every week or so towards Pantheon. They're not going to be long. If I find something cool, hey, maybe I'll upload a video, maybe I won't. But until I start seeing something that doesn't scream, this is ripped from EverQuest, I feel there's plenty of EQ content from EQ creators out there that you guys could check out. But this is EverQuest. It's EverQuest 1.5. And if that's what you want, you go ahead, princess, and get it. But for the rest of us looking for a new, unique MMO, Pantheon is not it. At least not yet. Who knows? Maybe they'll realize they're going way too hard on EverQuest to succeed. Because on top of that, EverQuest itself is coming out with a new MMO, and they're going to do it in a couple of years. These guys have been going 10 plus years now. So this could turn into be an interesting little who's going to release EverQuest 1.5 first. Alright, this is Nazgo 2K1. I am signing off, and you all have a great day. Later.